hours after taking a loss to the Thunder at home. The Blazers travel down to the Valley to take on the Phoenix Suns. Chris Burkhardt here with you. If you want to join in on the conversation, hit me up on Twitter or X, whichever one you like to call it. You know what to do. Chris J. Burkhardt's the name. Or you can go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the conversation there as well. And man, what a good day thus far if you are an Oregon Duck fan. The Ducks went into the Big House in Michigan and absolutely dominated the game there to pick up the victory and remain undefeated on the season, undefeated in Big Ten play. It's a beautiful thing. 38-17, the final score in Ann Arbor. Dylan Gabriel, 22 of 34, 294 yards and a touchdown. Jordan James, 23 carries, 117 yards and a touchdown as well. However, Duck fans will continue to hold their breath until news comes out about the injury to Tez Johnson, as he left just a few plays into the game, arm in a sling and in street clothes the rest of the time on the sidelines. But the Ducks go in and get a big victory. You'll love to see it if you're a Duck fan. What you don't love to see is, if you're a Blazer fan, is what happened last night at the Moda Center, where the Blazers just got absolutely bounced by the Oklahoma City Thunder. It was tied 68 all at halftime, and things were looking up. And then the third quarter happened where the Thunder outscored the Blazers 38-17. To make matters worse, I mean, the Blazers only scored 17 points. And in the second quarter, they outscored the Thunder 44-31. So when things were clicking, they were going great. But to go from a 44-point quarter to a 17-point quarter, not a great recipe for success. The Thunder outscored them in the fourth as well, 31-29, to pick up the 137-114 victory. It was 48-44 in points in the paint in favor of OKC. OKC had 19 second chance points to Portland's 12. Bench points 59-50 in favor of OKC. Turnovers, something I have talked about multiple times and said I will continue to talk about until it's no longer a problem. The Blazers had 19 of them, 19 turnovers that led to 27 Oklahoma City points. So those are things that you do not like to see. The biggest lead in this one was 28 for Oklahoma City and 3 for your Portland Trail Blazers. Taking a look at the box score and how things shaped out. Let's first look at the Thunder, who remained undefeated on the night. Jalen Williams had 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists, 8 points from Lugens Dort. Chet Holmgren was held to just 6 points in 18 minutes. He had 4 personal fouls. Not a great game for him, only 1 rebound as well. But they didn't need him because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 30 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. He was absolutely unstoppable. Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, and Wallace all scored in double figures, so as did Deng. So it was a pretty good game for the Thunder. Of course, there was Alex Caruso, who's listed as a guard, played most of the time at like a small power forward, small center position, as that team likes to run small and just wreak havoc. And you want to see a balanced roster and a balanced team, go watch the Oklahoma City Thunder. It was pretty wild how good they are. Taking a look at the Blazers, though, Jeremy Grant had 17 points on 5 of 11 shooting, also 3 rebounds and 2 assists, 13 points for Toumani Camara, 14 and 5 for DeAndre Ayton, ending his streak of 5 straight double-doubles to start the season. Anthony Simons had just 9 points on 1 of 8 shooting and got a scare late in the game as he fell down awkward on his arm. It was, speculation. Did he break it? Did he do this? Did he do that? Coach Billups said in the post-game availability that he was fine. He was getting looked at. Didn't seem to be too serious. So hopefully that's a good thing. And I don't know exactly if he'll play or how much he will play tonight, because he's probably a little bruised and banged up. But the team's PR did release their official injury report for the game tonight. He was not on it, as Shaden Sharp, Matisse Thybulle, and Robert Williams are your 3 Blazers listed on it, all out for tonight's game in Phoenix. Rounding out the rest of the box score, Denny Avdia had 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists, 8 points from Scoot Henderson, which I think you can look at and be like, what? He only had 8 points, but he only took 8 shots, wasn't trying to be uber aggressive, was just trying to find himself. So it wasn't a fill up the scoreboard night for him, but he wasn't out there just making a ton of mistakes. which is what you do like to see from him as he continues to mature in that role and get better. I think the highlight for this game, though, was the next guy off the bench, Ryan Rupert, who, if you're on the YouTube chat right now, you see that Kirk had the very first comment, free Rupert, free Rupert. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are on the free Rupert train, and it was a good performance from him. Like I said, 14 points. He was everywhere he needed to be defensively. He had 3 rebounds as well. Very, very just effective. And that's 2 games in a row now where he was effective in his minutes. Ended up playing 23 minutes in this one, 5 of 9 shooting, a career high 4 3-pointers. So a very awesome thing to see is Rupert starting to turn that corner and be very, very effective with the minutes he's getting. Chris Murray, 9 points. The rest of the bench didn't do too much. Donovan Clingan had 3 points and 7 rebounds. 1 block shot, and we'll talk more about him here in a little bit. Just like I talked about last night, I'm tired of Donovan Clingan playing 13 minutes a night, 12 minutes a night. He was the number 7 overall pick. Put him in there. I don't care if he is big and Oklahoma City runs small. To me, that's just an excuse. Get out there and play. Is it going to space him? Is it going to make him work and get out and guard the 3-point line and get in spaces he's uncomfortable? Yeah, it's going to. But you know what? Sometimes you got to be put into fire to be molded into something special. So don't protect him. Get him out there. That's my take on him. We'll dive into that just a little bit later. Jabari Walker only played 10 minutes in this one. Just had 2 points. 11 points from Delano Banton in 9 minutes, but that was all garbage time. All garbage time. Kirk says all of a sudden, Scoot Murray repair draft class looking nice. Well, we'll see how that goes, won't we? Because I think Scoot's having a pretty good start to the season, especially when you compare it to the start to his rookie year. Like he's looking better. Anyone who doesn't think that, I just think is just trying to hate on Scoot. Is he the starter you want him to be yet? Is he the star you want him to be yet? No, but he's definitely showing improvement, so that's nice. Rupert, though, went from end of the bench G League guy to a guy who's getting rotation minutes, and then Chris Murray, same. He went from G League guy, end of the bench guy, to a guy who's a legit, the first guy, second guy off the bench. So very good to see that draft class is coming together, and those guys are improving, because that's what you want to see, is that improvement for him. Another guy that's improving here is Toumani Camara. Toumani Camara in this game, 24 minutes, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Overall, just a very, very good game from him. I felt bad for him because there was many times where he was guarding SGA, and SGA is maybe a top 5 player in this league, man. And Toumani Camara played 10 out of 10, perfect defense on him, and he was still able to hit the shot over him. And at some point, you get frustrated. It's just like how much do I have to do? I am doing everything I can, and you still hit that shot. But you know what? Doing everything you can and playing good defense, and sometimes the other guys beat you. It's okay. As Pedro Martinez once famously said about the Yankees, tip my hat and call him my daddy, right? It is what it is. Sometimes you can't stop it. But what is absolutely unacceptable would be to not play defense at all and then just watch them get easy shots. And Toumani was making nothing easy for SGA and the Thunder, and you got to give him a ton of credit for that. He did end up talking to the media, was at the podium. He talked a little bit about SGA, so let's take a listen.
So Toumani, what'd you guys do in the second quarter that you didn't do in the third quarter that resulted in that run that they went on?
I think it's our energy. We locked in on all the small things, like boxing out, communication, and then I think just stay true to ourselves. I think that's how we were able to come back.
But then in the third quarter, it seems like those things.
Yes, it's all the things I just mentioned. I think our communication, our level, our attention to details, the way we box out. I think we just weren't as connected as we were at the end of the second. So. It's just something that we need to keep doing. It's still early on. I still have a lot of faith in what we can do as a team. So I'm still very happy of the effort that we showed today. And it's just little things that we need to fix up.
Toumani, before the game, Chauncey was talking about wanting you guys to shoot a lot of threes, even though hitting them is kind of an inconsistent thing for you guys. I mean, you had a couple early. Did you like a lot of the looks you were getting from deep?
Yeah. I mean, I think we need to do a better job on attacking and then making an extra pass. But it's all about maturing. We're still the youngest team. I hate using that as an excuse, but we are. It is a fact. So we just need to embrace it and realize what we need to get better at. And I think that's an area that we need to improve for sure.
There were a few plays where you really guarded Shea up close and well, and he still managed to hit shots. What stands out to you about his offensive game that's so difficult?
He has a lot of ISO plays, situation where he just got a green card. He can do whatever he wants on the court. So as a player, I mean, no matter who you are, I think it gives you a lot of confidence to be able to hit those shots when you have that much time and that much space to be able to create. But I mean, he's good at it. That's what he does, and that's what the team give him the keys to be able to do that. So props to him. But yeah, that's all I got to say.
What's the most challenging aspect of playing against them?
I think their connection. You could tell that they really trust each other, every single one of them, the way they play. They're still a very young team also, but you can tell that they spend a lot of time together, whether it's on or off the court. I don't know what they're doing, but their connection, just their trusting each other seems pretty good.
Tumani, what has been, from year 1 to year 2, what's kind of been your biggest change that you've noticed in your game on the court?
I'll say confidence, just that I have 1 year under my belt. Just felt way more comfortable out there. I think every game I get more comfortable. Just keep making mistakes and keep learning about myself, how I can get better, what area I need to improve in, and keep moving forward always.
Shots from outside are really falling for you thus far this season. Is that a case of repetition? Is it feeling more comfortable in the starting unit, or maybe more confidence, or what do you think is going right for you?
It's just learning my role and then work, a lot of work. I mean, past 4 years of college, I was playing the 4-5. I never really ran to the corners, never really done that my whole career. So this last year was my first time ever doing it. So I'm still trying to get used to it. And yeah, it's work. The whole summer, that was a big emphasis for me to be able to knock down shots more consistently. And I think that's where I was able to improve.
Yeah, it said that he said it, that he didn't want to be a guy who was a liability offensively, right? He wanted to be out there. He didn't want to be taken out during those offensive situations because he wanted to be a player that you could rely on to make those shots. And he's definitely put in the work, which has been great to see from Tumani, because he's that type of guy. You want to get him on the court. You absolutely want to get him on the court as much as you can. He's been phenomenal. I'm at work. I'm at work. Iron Rod says I'm at work. Will fifth quarter be on YouTube tonight? It will. It will, Iron Rod, as long as there's no YouTube issues. Technology is a pain in the backside, I assure you of that. But we do our best. Shacker is all over it. I'm bestowing all my YouTube knowledge upon him. But back to my point is just, man, Tumani has been so good. And I do not say this lightly, but I remember when I first started covering this team, when I got my job at NBC, it was 2014. And you got to see that great team, right? The Wes, the Nick, the Rolo team, the LA, the Dame. The team was phenomenal, man. And I always said, I was like, man, Wes Matthews makes defense fun. He makes watching player play defense fun. And the first time I've had that feeling since Wes left is Tumani Camara. Tumani Camara makes watching defense fun. It's incredible how good he is on that end, and is only getting better. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Blazers Game Day. If you want to join in the conversation, Chris J. Burkhardt is the name on Twitter, or you can go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the YouTube chat. If you really want to call in, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. We'll have some fun here. When we come back, though, we're going to head to the coach's corner, hear what Chauncey Billups had to say following that loss last night to the Thunder. Chris Burkhardt here with you on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Only love can make it rain. And the love for the Blazers making it rain in Phoenix tonight. Thought you're going down to the desert to escape this Portland weather, but nope, the rain, it follows. It is now time to head down to the coach's corner. Let's have a listen at what Coach Billups had to say following that loss to the Thunder just less than 24 hours ago. And he brought up a couple of good points, quite honestly. I'm going to tell you why. I think there's some points where everyone goes, that's just an excuse. And I get that. But I think you might have been onto something here. I'll tell you why after. Let's take a listen.
Coach, you guys had an amazing end of the second quarter and then a really bad third quarter. What was the difference there for you guys?
Yeah, shoot, that was pretty crazy what happened in that third. I mean, we fought our butt off to get it back in the second quarter. I thought we started the third quarter pretty good, and then, I just told the guys, shoot, it was 8 minutes left. It was a 2-point game. And then from that point on, we had 12 turnovers. They get 6 offensive rebounds, and just deflating plays. And, we got 12 shots the rest of the quarter. They had 27. And so, you're playing against big-time teams like that. You can't give them that many opportunities. That's how they get away from you. So I think it was just a learning experience for us. But the biggest thing is, like I tell our guys, until we actually take this rebounding thing serious, it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. I mean, we can't just play 19, 20 seconds of good defense, man, and then just not block out, To me, that's a lack of focus. I got to keep preaching it a lot better. Us as a staff, we do, but our guys got to take that serious. That's a big deal.
What was it about that small lineup for them that gave you guys trouble?
Well, I think it's, they do a really good job of putting their head down, putting pressure on the paint, and then every single guy you kick it to can shoot the ball. It makes it tough, So they make every team look like that. They're just that good. So it puts you in a tough spot. I mean, we're out there playing and especially the second unit, we're playing with Donovan. That makes it tough on him having to run around and chase those shooters and brings them out of the paint. I mean, it's a good scheme when you have that type of personnel.
Even that first group, though, with the DA, I felt like you guys, I don't know if you agree, but kind of chased it a little bit. You said, we're bigger than him, let's get him the ball in the post. I feel like that was some of the issue in the third quarter.
Yeah, we did. We overdid it, because we had some opportunities that we took advantage of, and then we kind of overdid it there. Turnover, But, I wasn't too mad about a few of those. Scoot, guys were trying to make the right play. It was just kind of at the wrong time. That's really just a lack of experience, That's what they actually want you to do, is chase that. Then they're going to front it. Then they're going over the top. They tap it, They just kind of lured us to sleep with it. But, again, it's just youth right there, though.
You talked about the rebounding thing being a lack of focus. What's it going to take to change that?
Focus. No, seriously. It's just that serious. It's just that simple, to be honest with you. It's just as simple as your natural instinct when that shot goes up is to look at the ball. But the habit that we have to break is that you have to not look at the ball. You have to look at your man, see him running, hit him first, and then go get the ball. It really is that simple, But your instincts will always take over most of the times. And when the ball goes up, you just kind of relax and look at the ball. They working. And I always said, like, really good rebounders, they do their work when the ball goes up. Most of the time you do your work when it comes off of the rim. It's too late. It's just too late. So it's a lack of focus, and we got to get better at it, and we will. We'll get better at it.
Jonesy, in that same vein, why do you think you guys are so good on the offensive glass, but you're struggling to find the consistency on the defensive glass?
Yeah, that is so funny. I always talk about that with us because we making a point to go on the offensive glass. I've always thought, and this is not just me as a coach, this is period. I've always thought that most guys go to that offensive glass because of what the result could be. They get the ball and they can score it. Defensively, it's a little different, you know. So I've always just kind of thought that, you know. But we make the same. We stress the same importance offensively and defensively, and we just have to get a ton better there, man.
Are there positives you can take from this game?
I thought our bench came in and did a good job. You know, I thought Roops continues to play better and better. They gave us some good minutes, but I thought that stretch where we got back in the game and fueled us was pretty cool. We went small. I didn't think our small lineup, we didn't get a chance to do it long enough because, you know, obviously Ant came down on his elbow or on his arm, but so we got everybody out of there. But I was looking forward to just kind of seeing that lineup get out there and rip around a little bit. But, you know, I didn't think we played poorly other than that stretch right there just crushed us.
On that note, is there any update on that?
Nah, they just they looking at it now. None of us think it's too bad, but.
Can you speak just more specifically about what was working so well during that second quarter stretch and what you can carry over into other games from that?
I thought what worked so well during that stretch is we got them to miss shots. We rebounded and we played really fast, man. Played really fast. We got the ball moving. We didn't allow them to set up their half-court defense. And I thought the main thing that really helped the entire first half was we only had 4 turnovers at halftime against a team like that, you know, who they want to speed you up, they want to pressure you. We talked a ton about that and just being strong with the ball. We did an excellent job of that in the first half, which allowed us to be in the game. And then, boom, the third quarter happened. They turn you over. They score.
Where you are, et cetera. You can't just get stuck looking at the ball off of the rim. And the reason I liked him saying this is because I saw that multiple times in that game that led to easy offensive rebounds for Oklahoma City. There was one where it was a long bounce off the rim, and Scoot just kind of watches it, thinking someone else is going to rebound. And you can't do that in this game. You can never think that someone else is going to do it, right? Okay, someone else is going to get the rebound. Someone else is going to pick up that man. Someone else is going to – no. You got to go out and do it, and you got to be aggressive. However, when he does say, you know, lack of focus, that comes down to lack of preparation. Lack of preparation comes down to what happens way before tip-off, right? And I think that's where they're starting to get a level of frustration with certain things that go on because this whole lack of focus thing, right? I feel like that's kind of on repeat over and over and over. So how you fix that is is to get them focused, get them in the room. Get you prepared as a coach, right? Everything needs to come together everywhere because don't know if that's really quite the excuse. Raindrops keep falling on my head, Shacker. No, they don't because I'm here in the studio and I'm nice and dry. I did walk to go get some water a second ago, though, and it was pouring. And I wanted to run to the store when the show was done real quick, grab a snack, and I might just stay in here to stay dry. But anyway, that was Coach Billups. And again, that's my take. I'll get in a little more on that. I'll get in on Donovan Clingan here, too, when we get to our next segment, the Coors Cold Hard Facts. And that'll be coming up next on the Rip City Drive. Not Rip City Drive. He threw me off. Shacker threw me off. He's going to the well and just getting all the great songs that have to do with rain because that's what it's doing in Phoenix today. The Portland Trailblazers left gloomy Portland for a rainy day in Phoenix. How often does that happen? Chris Burkhardt here with you. Blazers Game Day continues after the break right here on Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back in to Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. You can follow me on X at Chris J. Burkhardt. You can also go to youtube.com right now. Type in Rip City Radio and join the conversation and get some chats in there. All right, this is now time for my Coors Cold Hard Fact. And I'm gonna lean into this one a little bit because I just don't like what I'm seeing in certain aspects of this game right now. And this is Donovan Clingan, okay? That's where I'm going here. Now, first off, let's preface this before anyone gets too upset. I love Donovan Clingan. I think he's been absolutely phenomenal since getting here in Portland. I think he can definitely blossom into something special, especially on the defensive end. I know the defense or the offensive numbers might leave something to be desired for the long term, but I think if you build a team right, you put offensive weapons around him, he's going to be good. What I do not like is a game, even against OKC. I get it. They run small. He's a big, blah, 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 excuses. I don't like the 7th overall pick and a guy who may very well end up forcing DeAndre Ayton out as you continue to build your roster, getting 12 minutes of action in what ended up being a blowout loss. That makes no sense to me. So my Coors Cold Hard Fact is he needs to play more. He absolutely needs to play more. Okay? He's right now barely touching the court, it feels like, sitting long stretches where he's just not playing. And I continue to sit there and scratch my head around it. Why is the number 7 overall pick averaging 12.7 minutes per game? 12.7, right? And he's efficient in those minutes. I mean, he's only scoring 4.5 points. But again, that's not his game. But he's averaging almost 2 block shots and 6 rebounds in those 12 minutes. His per 36 numbers right now, friends, his per 36 numbers are 13 points per game, 17 rebounds, and 5 block shots. And then you tell me, well, you know, he doesn't play a lot because he's still working on his conditioning and getting into okay, well, then that's an issue, and you got to fix it. Because not being able to play more than 16 minutes a night as the 7th overall pick, as a big who's played college ball and all this, weird to me. Get in game shape. Get ready to go. Do everything you need to do. If I were the 7th overall pick and I was only playing 12 minutes a night, and part of that was because of my lack of conditioning, you wouldn't keep me off the treadmill. I would be just running and conditioning and line sprints, and I'd be ready to go. Secondarily, what's the best way to get the wind under you and get used to playing 15 minutes, 16, 17, 18, 20 minutes a night? Not by playing 12, that's for sure. And so I don't get it. I cannot wrap my head around it. You can sit here and you can argue with me all day long about, do you want to put him in against OKC because they run small and Luguentz Dort's going to have him running around defensively and Alex Caruso's playing center for him right now and that's going to make him have to go to the wing and he's just not a wing defender and blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, what about Golden State? What about New Orleans? What about Sacramento? They weren't the small OKC teams and he was playing like all of 13 minutes a night. So it's not an OKC problem. It's just the minutes he's been given right now. In that blowout loss, he plays 12 minutes. Like Delano Banton comes off the bench, and Delano Banton, I know you guys love him, but Delano Banton is the end of the bench guy. When he came to Portland, it was his 3rd team in 3 years. He looked good in when he was playing 40 minutes a night because they had no other person. And so, of course, someone's going to put up some stats, but realistically, no. He dang near played 10 minutes. Why? He should be nowhere close to the minutes distribution of Donovan Clingan. It's just weird to me. And again, I know what's next. You're all going to come at me with the whole like, oh, they play different positions, whatever. You get what I'm saying. So I just don't like that. Now, if your argument is that, well, Oklahoma City plays small. And again, that would have put him out on the 3-point line. And that's not where he's the best. He's definitely more adept at playing inside the paint. And that's where he's strong. Fair. Very, very fair point. And I will give you that. However, it is 2024 in the NBA. Your center needs to be able to get out of the paint every once in a while. And what better way to work on that thing if that's something that he's bad at than to put him in the situation where he can work on it. So again, he needs to be on the floor. That's my take on Donovan Clingan. I think him needing to play is a Coors cold hard fact. Develop him. You don't give me this team is in a rebuild, right? We're rebuilding. Joe Cronin said in the offseason, this team's not competitive. We still got to build this roster. Okay? You get this new Glass series. Who are your three faces on that on that Glass? Scoot Henderson, Shaden Sharp, and Donovan Clingan. So you obviously want him to be part of this, a face that fans recognize and a face of this franchise moving forward. Play him more than 12 minutes a night. Does he look gas? Yes. Did Oklahoma City go on a quick run as soon as he checked in? Yes, they did. Do I care? Not in the least. Because as we've been trying to tell fans, because this is what we believe to be the case, as we talk to people around the league and talk to the team, the wins and losses are going to ebb and flow, but this is a lottery team. That's what we were told, right? And this is going to be another year of tanking for Cooper Flagg because of a stacked draft class. Okay? Well, then when you're not playing your seventh overall pick and you are continuing to roll Jeremy Grant, DeAndre Ayton, and Anthony Simons out there nonstop, that sends a little bit of a different message. Now, I get it. You can't just bench all those guys. That would be stupid too. But that's why you got to pick your lane and dedicate to it and make your moves, which I think will happen in the future. But you still can find ways, whether you're playing Ayton and all that or not, to get Clingan on the floor for more than 12 minutes a night. And realistically, what happens when Time Lord gets healthy? Because as much as we all like Clingan, Time Lord is an all defensive type center. He's phenomenal. You're probably going to want to play him at some point to showcase him because if you want to trade him or what you want to do, people need to know if he's healthy and ready to go. So if you start getting to a point where Ayton is playing a bunch and Robert Williams is playing a bunch and Clingan's getting DMPs, is that the road we're going down? Because if that's so, I don't like it. Bartno like bad medicine, right? I may be on an island on this, and that's fine. But that is my take on DC. I need DC on the court. I want him to be in those positions that he's not good at to learn how to get good at them. We all know that he's really, really good defensively in the paint. Why just rest on that? Well, he's really good there. We're just going to put him there because he's going to find success anytime we do. Get him outside of his comfort zone. Make him a better player in the long run. That's what I want to see. Cold, hard fact. Get him on the floor. Oh, but he would have been roasted by the OKC team. Oh, you mean the OKC team that was up by 28 points? I do not care. Get him out there. Let the young man grow. All right, we're going to take our final break here of the show. When we come back, it is time for our Coors Cold Hard Facts. Nope, it's not. We just did that, Burkhardt. Don't be dummy. It's time for our keys to the game. What do the Blazers need to do to get a win down in the rainy Valley? Chris Burkhardt here with you. Game Day rolls on after the break on your home of the Blazers. Rip City Radio, 620. Welcome back in to Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. Now it is time for our keys to the game. What do the Blazers have to do to get a victory down in DeAndre Ayton's old stomping grounds, Phoenix, where the Suns come into tonight's game 4-1, tied for the third best record in the NBA. It's going to be a tough night for the Blazers, especially on the second night of a back-to-back. I mean, you get the Suns and the Thunder on consecutive nights. That's never a fun night if you are any team, really. That's a doozy. But if you're the Blazers, again, similar to what Chauncey was saying in his presser and what I said yesterday, continue to be aggressive on the glass. He said, if you want to take this rebounding thing seriously, you got to focus and you got to get after it. And they have the bodies and the talent to be a very, very good rebounding team. And they come into this one averaging, where's this number at? Averaging 45 rebounds per game. They've slipped out of the top 10. They're currently number 12 in the league, but they go against a Phoenix Suns team that is 25th in the league at 41.6. So take advantage of that and just absolutely go to town on the glass, especially the offensive glass, where the Blazers do remain a top 10 team. They are 8th in the league at 13.3 in the offensive glass. And it's interesting because that is not where Phoenix excels. Again, they are one of the worst rebounding teams overall. However, they are a top 5 team on the defensive glass. So you're going to get a strength of their rebounding game versus a strength of the Blazers rebounding game. And I want to see the Blazers really get after it. Hopefully Chauncey had a chance to get into their ear, get them some tape on their tablets or whatever in the plane. I'm assuming that's what they do. They all watch tape, right? And just get aggressive on that and get focused. He said you need the team to get focused on that and take advantage of it. Just go to town. Use your size. Secondarily, again, I've said this to you guys before. It's going to be my key to the game until they can continue or they can stop doing it. And that is take care of the ball. The turnovers are terrible. Portland currently bottom of the league, fifth worst in turnovers per game, barely behind number 1 Utah. Utah leads the league with 19.4 turnovers per game. Then you got Detroit at 17.8, Toronto at 17.4, and then Charlotte at 17.5. Then your Blazers at 17.3. So they're just a half a turnover away from being the number 2 worst team in the league when it comes to turnovers. So this team has got to find ways to take care of the ball. And a lot of these turnovers happen to be dumb turnovers, right? Trying to force a pass or not paying attention, being out of communication, the lack of focus again, right? So all get on the same page, be smart with your passes. Don't try to force it through a window. Again, you cannot give these teams that are good like Phoenix and Oklahoma City free possessions. It's going to absolutely come back to hurt you. So you cannot afford to give them just a free shot at the ball. And then another key in this one is just you got to find ways to just be uber aggressive defensively. Again, I did like the defense in the first half against Oklahoma City. There in the second half, Tumani Kamara, I thought was playing great defense. He just had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hit a couple shots over him that I don't think anybody could defend. But for a large chunk of that game, Oklahoma City was shooting like 60% from the floor. I ended up shooting 53% on the night. I mean, that's a pretty good night at the office for a team. And if you're the Blazers, you just got to be uber aggressive defensively, get out on the wing, put a hand in the face. I don't like the run out. I don't like the run out that makes it look like you were playing good defense because you closed out on a guy a half second too late. Just get up in their grill. Don't even let them get into a spot where you have to close out. Be there. Close the lanes. Get the hands in the passing lanes. Do whatever you can to force some turnovers and just be uber aggressive. That first half against Oklahoma City was beautiful basketball, particularly that second quarter, right? Find ways to replicate that. Even if it's in a small spurt, find a way to replicate it. And it's not necessarily a key to the game, but it is something I would like to see tonight. And you know what? If Donovan Clingan does only play, 10 minutes tonight, you never know what he's actually going to play. I do want to see him against Yusuf Nurkic as much as possible, right? Like I want to see the Blazers old big man going against the Blazers future big man, and I want to see a couple block shots in there as well because that would just be a thing of beauty, right? That's what I want to see tonight: Kling Kong versus the Bosnian Beast. That sounds like a movie right there, actually. I want to see that. I'll give you this. I know people, I think we're ready for him to move on. I still love Nurk. I thought Nurk Fever was amazing. The memories with him in Portland were awesome. Easy to root for. All right, time to get out of here, but don't go anywhere. Still plenty of action coming up in about 5.5 minutes. You'll hear the boss man, Chad Doing, on the Blazers pregame show on the Blazers